What is good, peasants? My name is JB, and I'm back here today with my team builder for Week 5 of the PCL Season 2. This week we are taking on Tone, coach of the Miami Malamarlins, currently rocking a record of 3-1 with a +3 differential. And as always, I encourage you guys to go check out my opponent's channel. His link will be down in the description. Going over his team, though, he has a pretty damn threatening team. It's very weird speed tier-wise for me, so it's a bit rough to try to figure out where to put like my speed tiers and whatnot. I don't know why I'm talking about that before I talk about his team. Let's go over his team real quick. That's probably smart. I'm just assuming you guys already looked over the team as I was ranting, but hey, I'm stupid, so I'm just gonna keep ranting while you guys, could just continue to look at the screenshot of his team. Anyway, now I'm going to be a professional PokeTuber and go over my opponent's team for this matchup. Jesus Christ, dude, I'm so stupid. He has a Clefable, Nihilego, Porygon Z, Crobat, Seismitoad, Vikavolt with Z moves, Aegislash, Hydreigon, Reuniclus, Bellossom, and Mega Gallade. So you can see he picked up the Hydreigon that we dropped a few weeks ago, which feels kind of bad that we already had to fight it, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. We have to fight our baby. We have to fight our baby, but it's it's cool. It's cool. It's strange but cool. It's like I don't know, man. I had an analogy, but I completely lost it, and I tried to get it back, and I just realized it was gone, so I gave up. But anyway, in terms of threats on his team, Mega Gallade just started setting up Swords Dance. This is a huge stat, like a sub SD dual stab set. Honestly, puts in a lot of work. Something like Ice Punch as well. Just an SD Mega Gallade runs train, or just sub 3 attacks is like a really popular set these days. And I know he's ran it a few times, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see like a sub 3 attack set with like dual stab Ice Punch or knockoff or whatever he might feel like he needs. Bellossom, honestly, you guys know a thing or two about Bellossom from the LDL draft analysis video I did, which yeah, it was a bit rough, but yeah, Bellossom pretty decently thick, can String Sap, it can Quiver Dance, and it can do just annoying grass type things. It can Leech Seed, it can pass around status, that sort of thing. It could definitely be annoying if it comes, but I'm not too sure it would. I have a few. I don't have a fire type, but I do have a couple flying types that really prevent it. I have a Kyurem as well that I can't really do much to outside of boosted Moonblast, so I don't really necessarily see it, but I wouldn't be totally shocked to see it. Bellossom, Reuniclus, terrifying if it sets up a Trick Room and starts Calm Minding or Acid or Iron Defensing. It could be a threat if it starts getting set up, but outside of that, I'm not too scared of it. If I can prevent it from setting up, I should be fine. Hydreigon, just a great wall breaker, can punch holes through teams, but it's sort of hindered in terms of items, especially in this matchup. Like, it's probably gonna have to be I would definitely see more of like a choice or a life orb variant coming rather than Z-move, because it just misses out on KOs and it misses out on, like, I don't know, I just feel like it needs a choice item this week. So I've built primarily for that. If it's a Z-move, then honestly it's a little bit easier to deal with offensively, or like revenge killing wise or whatnot. So I'm not too scared of Hydreigon, but that could come back to bite me because it's obviously just an incredible Pokemon. Aegislash, we played this last season a couple times. We played it in the regular season as well as in the first round of the playoffs. So it's probably going to be a more defensive-ish set. I could see like a Swords Dance set coming as well, with like just 2 attacks with like Shadow Sneak for priority. I don't think he actually brings it though, because its best way of dealing with my team is with like Shadow Sneak, and I do have a Lele, but I wouldn't be surprised. It does have like a decent matchup as like a defensive pivot and that sort of thing. So it is what it is. Vikavolt, scary if it's an agility set. Otherwise, like Agility Life Orb is scary. That's honestly it. It can outspeed quite a bit and do a little bit of work if it's that set, but if it's not, then I'm not too worried about it. Seismitoad, just really annoying, really fat, just a fat piece of crap. Gets up rocks. It's probably gonna be Rindoberry. Every Seismitoad ever is Rindoberry, and if it's not, then it's a little bit easier to deal with. He has ran leftovers, like most weeks he's brought it. I think he brought Rindoberry once, I'm not really sure, but I know he's brought leftovers the last time he brought it, so we'll see that. He is, of course, willing to run other items on it, so that's good to know. Crobat, fast, Taunter, can Brave Bird things. Pretty big threat, honestly, because Brave Bird spam is never fun to play against. Another pawn that we had on our Season 1 Finals team, so playing like technically 2 children, but more so Crobat, because Crobat actually did things for us where Hydreigon just sort of showed up and died. Porygon Z, fast special attacker, could be scary if it's nasty plot. Honestly though, a Scarf Revenge killing set is pretty damn threatening, so again, wouldn't be surprised to see that. It's 1 point slower than Landorus, so that's worth noting. If it is a Scarf variant, then that could be mildly annoying, or it could, you know, be great depending on what we decide to do with the Landers. Spoiler alert. Then we have Nihilego, which I've been subbed by more Nihilego than I care to admit. This thing is just obnoxious, man. It's a great just late game cleaner if played well. And Tone is a very good player. It's also, you know, good toxic spikes option as well as just stealth rocker. Gets a lot of coverage like T-Bolt, Dazzling Gleam, which hit my team pretty hard. I also, you know, of course, just Sludge Wave hitting my team really hard as well. And then Clefable being one of the most annoying Pokemon of all time. Calm Minding, Stealth Rocking, Wish Passing, just not dying, recovering everything, preventing setup because of unaware, or not letting itself get worn down. If it's Magic Guard, could be an annoying stored power variant. Like, Clefable's pretty damn annoying. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the squad we are bringing. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I feel like I kind of manned this team mostly myself. Dorian helped a little bit. I just kind of like went into my own zone for a little bit while we were all in call tonight as I'm recording this, and I just sort of went in and just like, I don't know, I just built a team. So probably not the best team I've ever built, but I feel like I can get the job done because I have one mod that just has a ridiculous matchup. So let's go ahead and get into the squad. First off, I need to remember my dang nicknames. I'll do it later. But we have Mega Gyarados here. Of course, you know, with Mold Breaker ability, losers Substitute, Crunch, Waterfall, and Dragon Dance. He has nothing for this. I can set up on a good half of his team. Toad, Aegislash, Uniclus, if it's not running Focus Blast, which it has a hit, even then I could sub on that. Scub on that to Scout. Clefable, I can set up on if it doesn't have T-Wave. Like, I can just set up on a solid chunk of his team and just go in. Like, I can, you know, of course, I can sub on the T-Wave from Clef as well. But yeah, Mega Gyarados puts in a ton of work if I can get a couple Dragon Dances off, and it's a very potent late game cleaner this matchup. It could also, you know, just win outright if I get a good matchup at the start of the game and I see an opening. So yeah, if I can get this thing set up behind a sub, it puts in so much work against this team. I do need to be +2 for Crunch to kill. Actually, no, I need to be +3 for Crunch to kill. I'm not even sure. It depends on, like, if he's max defense bold, I need +3 to like have a chance to kill. +4 guaranteed kills, but I don't think I'll ever get the +4. But I can, you know, just 2 KO it with +1, so that's always nice. But that's the only thing that's really living a hit outside of like Super Fist Death Blossom. Maybe it's one, but Clefable's dropping because of unaware. Like Waterfall's 2 KOing that always. I think it goes at +1 depending on his spread. Nihilego's dropping, PZ's dropping, Crobat's dropping, Vicavolt's dropping, Aegislash is dropping to a +2 Crunch. And it's always 2 KO'd. Hydreigon can, you know, resist both of my dual stabs. That's the one thing I do need to be careful for. Watch out for his set, but if he drops a Draco and it's confirmed he's choiced, that's a free sub, that's a free +2, and then, like, I can just clean from there, like, if I have anything left alive to eat a hit from Hydreigon later. Reuniclus drops, Bellossom drops to +1 Crunch, 2 KO, Oko, but +2 Crunch. And the Mega Galay does not want to take a +2 Waterfall ever, so yeah, Gyarados just goes in this game. Next up, we have the pretty much the pseudo MVP of the team thus far. We have Kyurem, this time rocking a Haban Berry. The moves are just a random 4 attacks variant with Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Flash Cannon. Pretty weird set, but I feel like I just needed the coverage to hit everything that I needed, or that I could, and it was just pretty, like, I didn't really have a way of fitting, you know, Roost on this set or anything like that. I need everything that I have. The speed we have is, of course, for Porygon Z, max speed 10 and Porygon Z, and then we have the Haban Berry with the 84 HP investment allows us to live a Specs Draco from Hydreigon, and then Okoing it back with our own Draco Meteor. Unfortunately, Ice Beam is a roll to kill, so we have to click Draco to guarantee we kill, so gonna be having to click Draco against that. I thought about running a Scarf variant, but I don't know, man. I just felt like having the coverage, like being the ability to switch our moves after Hydreigon's gone is a good way to, you know, it can do it work against the rest of his team, because outside of Hydreigon and Mega Gallade, I outspeed everything. You can just click buttons. Well, Nihilego as well, but I'm less scared of Nihilego because I can naturally eat any hit that's non-boosting item, I believe, just with my decent natural bulk. Of course, if I've taken a Specs Draco, that's out the window, but yeah, that's fine. And then, you know, we just have Earth Power to hit, you know, stuff like the Nihilego on the Switch or Aegislash as well. And then we needed Flash Cannon to hit Clefable. I wanted to run Roost, but I just feel like having something extra to hit Clef is always nice, and even though it's probably not going to do a ton because it's a Clefable, it's still just nice to have something that can get a little bit of chip damage off on it, if need be. Next up, we have Swallow making his return with a Flame Orb Gut set, with Brave Bird, Facade, Steel Wing, and U-Turn. So, pretty interesting set. We have speed, of course, for the Nihilego? No, we have speed for Gallade. Speed for Gallade, obviously. And once his Steel Tide goes down, where is it? Once Aegislash goes down, he has nothing that wants to take Brave Bird plus Facade. We have Steel Wing as a way to deal a little bit more damage to Nihilego and Clefable. I believe Facade does more to Clefable. We have something I have to calc, but I know Steel Wing does more to Nihilego, and from there, Brave Bird and Facade just hit everything. Fast U-turns are always nice to, you know, get out on something like a Hydreigon, or like, I don't know, if I don't want to take recoil chip on Bellossom, I can U-turn out on that. It's just U-turn is nice for pivoting. It's also nice for like Reuniclus pivoting out on that, because like, this is kind of setup fodder for Reuniclus if it needs a hit, so that could be something worth mentioning / remembering. And then next up, we have, before we get into the next one, just to reiterate a little bit more on Swallow, it has a good chance to clean late game. Like if Gyarados punches a hole through him early game, I feel like Swallow can do a decent job of cleaning up this game, depending on what he has left, obviously. So yeah, that's sort of Swallow's job, is like clean up late game, or if Gyarados, you know, drops early, then do what we need to there. And, you know, just, yeah, basically we have two solid options for late game cleaning, way to punch a hole just through his team and get rid of a big threat. And then next up we have Zeraora with Life Orb, moves our Plasma Fist, Knock Off, Drain Punch, and Grass Knot. So the speed is, of course, for the Crobat. The moveset's pretty self-explanatory. Plasma Fist is a way to deal with Crobat, because Crobat's annoying. If you bring Scarf, then that's fine. He's losing out on like an item and, you know, a little bit more versatility if he wants to bring a Scarf Crobat for whatever reason to outspeed Zeraora. Other than that, Knock Off plus Drain Punch hits a lot of his team. Neutrally, I believe it hits everything neutrally on his team outside of Clefable, which Plasma Fist hits harder anyway. And then we have Grass Knot for, of course, the Aegislash, which this does 2-hit KO every variant possible. Even if he is Rindoberry, it OHKOs at max HP. I believe, of course, it just drops him max HP, you know, Rindoberry. What's it called? Seismitoad. Jesus, I just completely blanked on the Pokemon's name. But if he is Rindoberry, then that's a little bit unfortunate. We do need a little bit of chip depending on his Spadef investment. We should still be able to do like a solid 70-ish%. I want to say somewhere in that general range. And then, you know, just Knock Off is nice for his team. Drain Punch is nice to get recovery on something like a Hydreigon that might want to pivot in, or just anything that would want to pivot into it to take a hit. Just get a little bit of recovery since we are running Life Orb this league, and the Plasma Fist just does a lot of damage to everything not named Seismitoad and Vikavolt, I guess. So that's the Zeraora set. Next up, we have Lando, rocking a Choke Sky variant, of course, with Intimidate. Was our Earthquake, Stone Edge, Defog, and U-Turn. Earthquake goes in against his team, honestly, and then we have Stone Edge to hit the things that doesn't. Like Stone Edge drops the Vikavolt. It does a ton to the Vikavolt, and then we can U-turn out on Hydreigon if you predicts that. U-turn out on the Bellossom if he wants to bring a Fizdef Bellossom. Then we have Defog on the set because we needed Hazard Control somewhere on the team, and I needed to free a moveset up on our last mon, Empoleon, as you can see, or just whatever mon we decided to bring in the last slide. I feel like I needed just to free up a moveset. I originally had Fly as a way to OHKO Gallade, but he's not staying in, so like, and if he sees me go for Fly, there's no way he's bringing in Gallade. I just thought it'd be fun to, just slap Fly on there randomly, but in the end, I felt Defog was a little bit better, and then, yeah, Earthquake just goes in once I can get rid of his Crobat or his Vikavolt. I just go in with Earthquake, then at that point it does a lot to everything. You turn out on the things that it doesn't, hit, and then Stone Edge, the things that I need a Stone Edge. It just puts in a lot of work with Earthquake spam. Nothing wrong with just spamming Earthquake every now and then. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Empoleon with a Chople Berry that moves our Stealth Arc, Scald, Ice Beam, and Roar. Main reason we have Roar is because he has two Magic Guard, Calm Mind setup mods in Clefable and Reuniclus. Want to keep those things from setting up if at all possible and can just war them out. I originally had Toxic, but I decided to go Roar over Magic Guard Roar over Toxic because of the two Magic Guard mods, and I can just war them out, preventing them from setting up. Stealth Rocks, of course, they're just Stealth Rocks, and then we have Scald Ice Beam because it hits everything that it would need to hit neutrally. And yeah, thought about potentially putting Grass Knot on this set, but wasn't any real reason to. I still hit Hydreigon neutrally with Ice Beam, and then I can hit, the Bellossom that might want to come in if it sees my moveset and doesn't know I have Ice Beam. I can hit Hydreigon neutrally as well, hit Crobat. Just hitting the things that I have a little bit of trouble dealing with otherwise with Ice Beam, so that's the team. Let me know what you think of the matchup, and I will see you all tomorrow for the video, and or for the battle video rather. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace. Alright, boys, so change of plans, and honestly, very, very annoying change of plans for a few reasons. One, as you can clearly tell, we're here on Pokemon Showdown with a replay, so there was an unfortunate disconnect. And two, because, well, that freaking, this team builder that you guys just saw has been uploaded for legitimately over a week, and I'm gonna be honest, this is the only website I don't like dark mode on. I think that just looks better. Anyway, that replay that team builder had been uploaded for literally a week and a half, so we had an unfortunate disconnect. And instead of uploading an entire video that's just a showdown replay, because I'm not a freaking tool like a lot of people are, like they'll just upload replays as their weekly video, and like for showdown leagues, that's just lame in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tack this on to the end, which is really annoying because I'm gonna have to not only edit this into the team builder, but also re-upload the team builder. So really annoying for a few circumstances. One, you never want to disconnect, and two, just like it just sucks having to DC and like recreate. It's just tedious and whatnot. So let's go ahead and first off switch sides, reset, and yeah, you can see Tone ended up bringing the Mega Gallade, the Aegislash, the Nihilego, the Hydreigon, the Seismitoad, as well as the Crobat. You can see the team that we just went over in the team builder is what we ended up bringing, of course. So let's, without further ado, go ahead and get into it. I believe the first 12 turns are recreation, so I'll do my best to explain my thought process. So I decided to just go ahead and lead off with Landorus, as the only thing that really threatens it is opposing Scarfers, which he does have two of. Two potential Scarfers, and then the Heligo and the Hydreigon. But Hydreigon was his only Z-move user that he ended up bringing, so we didn't see the Vikavolt. Meaning that if he brought a Z-move, it was obviously going to be on the Hydreigon, so I felt like it was pretty safe to lead with Lando T. And I do live a Scarf HP Ice from Nihilego, so I thought it was fine to just go ahead and lead off with Lando T if you wanted to, you know, leave with Scarf Nihilego. I just bopped it with an Earthquake, so that's my thought process. Just go ahead and lead off with the Scarfmon, because basic. So I'm just going to U-turn out, getting off a big chunk of damage on this thing. And I can just bring in Empoleon as he ends up popping the turn 1 Z move, which is aggro AF, which I definitely respect. Gets off big damage on my Empoleon. And then he decides to fire off an Earth Power. I didn't have switch into this, so I felt like it was in my best interest to just try and get Rocks up. Rocks don't really pressure his team all that much, and since he didn't end up bringing either the Clefable or the Reuniclus, I felt it was pretty safe to just let Empoleon go down. Like, its main job was to roar those two things out and like keep Rocks up, sort of, but he didn't really, you know, Rocks don't really pressure his team, so I felt like it was fine to just go ahead and let Empoleon go down early, as he will finish me off with the Earth Power. And I can just bring back in Scarf Lando, clicking another U-turn if he wants to give me this early. This was fine, but he just brings in Crobat, which is of course going to take absolutely nothing. A clean 6%, but I can just get a Dorian in. And now here, I decided to make a pretty, you know, mid-ground play. I didn't really expect him to want to leave his Crobat in against me, because we did see the Black Sludge, and he was OHKO'd by it was a chance to OHKO even if he was max bold with Life or Plasma Fist, so I didn't really expect him to want to leave this in. So I felt it was in my best interest to knock off the potential incoming Seismitoad or whatever he wanted to bring in, to just get rid of an item. If he brought in Toad, then Grass Knot would kill afterwards if it was Rindoberry. And yeah, I just felt like it was a pretty safe play to just go for knockoff. As you will see, he actually ends up staying in. I get off a big chunk on the Crobat, which is always nice, but he does get off a little bit more with that Super Fang, so that's annoying. But I do just decide to click Plasma Fist here, as I thought about being really aggressive and going into the Gyarados on the Seismitoad, but you'll see in a couple turns why that wouldn't have mattered anyway. But he ends up just deciding to sack off the Crobat, which is fine with me. Only really getting off a Super Fang, not really doing too much in terms of being annoying, so always fine to just go ahead and get rid of that thing. And he's just going to be able to bring in the Seismitoad, and I feel like Zero Aura has done enough for the point where if he's not Rindoberry, which you can see he ended up being Rindoberry, I felt like it was fun to just let Zero Aura just go ahead and get a big chunk of damage off on this thing. I also sort of expected him to Rocks or Toxic there. I didn't really feel like he could afford to, but I felt like this would be a rare opportunity for him to actually be able to get those up, and I would be able to kill him. But he does just make the correct play and go ahead and finish off my Zero Aura, which, like I said, was fine. I ended up getting the crit there with Grass Knot, which I didn't get in the Wi-Fi version of the game, but you'll see it didn't end up mattering because, well, I ended up killing it a couple turns later anyway. Like, the crit didn't matter, he just sacked it off anyway, so I can bring in Gyarados here, and I decided to just try to go for a sub against this thing because this is one of the things that I could set up all over against. Water Absorb, of course, not being affected by Mold Breakers, so I can just set up all over this thing, I thought, and potentially just, you know, sweep from here, but you'll see he actually reveals the really cool tag with low kick, and that was the only move he could really have that could bring my sub, so really good bring on Tone's part, and he can actually go for a low kick there. Goes for another one on my Swallow as I just get the Facade off, which in the original game, the Grass Knot did around like 40-50-ish%, which he was still in range of Facade anyway, so it didn't really end up mattering that I crit him with the Grass Knot, and you can see I ended up forgetting that I just killed it with Swallow anyway. But he can bring in the Aegis Slash now, and I could just fire off a U-turn. Not really wanting to stay in. If he went for King Shield, that's fine. I could just U-turn again. But you'll see he actually goes for a sub here, which is very annoying for a few reasons. One, it's just a sub. Like, that's really annoying. I was sort of fearing Witness Policy until I saw the leftovers, and I thought it was, you know, I was pretty safe to just go for Earthquake here. Just break the sub and, you know, keep this thing from being too much of an annoyance. So I do just go ahead and go for Earthquake, breaking the sub. So you will actually just go for King Shield that turn. So you sub, King Shield, and two other moves that we haven't seen yet, and I will break this up with that second Earthquake and fire off a Shadow Ball here. Instead of just going for another Earthquake to potentially finish him off, I decided to make a double into Gyarados, predicting him with the King Shield again, and just waste another turn. He could also go Hydreigon on the Earthquake, which you'll see is what he ends up doing, but I actually decided to go Gyarados here, and I believe this is where we get back caught up to the game. So he does go into the Hydreigon, and yeah, good play there, preventing the Earthquake, and, you know, I just felt like it was safe to go for a King Shield and potentially get a sub up on him, because he didn't break my sub with Shadow Ball ever, or Flash Cannon, or Gyro Ball, or whatever. The only move that Aegis Slash could run that would break my sub would be Secret Sword, so I thought it was fun to just go Gyarados there and potentially try to sub up, but he makes a good play, going into Hydreigon on me, as I bring in Swallow, pretty much just sacking it off. I felt like it was the least useful member of the team at this point, but you'll see he actually just goes for an Earth Power there, so unintentional good play on my part, and I can just fire off a U-turn as he ends up sacking off the Hydreigon. Crit did not matter. So here I go Cure him. Honestly, probably shouldn't have gone Cure him here. I felt like Lando T probably still would have been the better play. I didn't OHKO this thing from full with Earthquake, of course, so the Gallade, that is, with Earthquake. So maybe not the best play, but I just felt like, you know, Cure him maybe not have been the smartest play, but I ended up talking myself into it because I prevented him from getting set up, and Kyurem does nothing to the things that he has left. Like, it's I do negligible damage to the Aegis Slash with Earth Power if he's bulky, and then the Nihilego just outspeeds me and potentially just kills me with Power Gem, depending on what his set is or whatnot. So I just decided that, you know, it's fine. I could just prevent him from getting a sub up, keeping a sub rather, or SDing. So he's just gonna go for, of course, the Mega Evolution and then Drain Punch me, which is fine because it's not close combat, meaning I can get a little bit of chip off with this Ice Beam before he takes me out with the next Ice Punch. So next up, or here rather, I believe I just go into the Swallow and just fire off Brave Bird as it's pretty free against the rest of his team as, you know, someone joins our game. Shout out to Bronson. I'm pretty sure that's Bronson, but I think that's him. If it's not, then shout out to whoever the partner probably likes this. But I go for Brave Bird as he lets me have the Gallade, which is fine by me. And he brings in the Aegis Slash after. If he went Nihilego there wasn't any move that he could lock himself into if he was Scarf that could beat my entire team. So I kind of get why he went Aegis Slash. He sort of had to give himself a chance to kill Lando or Gyarados, so that he might have a move that he could lock himself into with Aegis Slash if he was in fact Scarf, which Scarf Nihilego, for those of you who don't know, has swept me more times than I care to admit. So I just go into the Lando T on the sub, as he will again get up another substitute, and I can just go for Earthquake. If he wants a King Shield, that's fine. He's just wasting turns. I can just continually click Earthquake, because Earthquake spam obviously does win at this point, unless he is Scarf HPS, which if he locks himself into HPS, then he can't beat my Gyarados. So he goes for the Shadow Ball on the second turn as I break the sub, and unfortunately gets a roll, which I don't think really mattered because he could have just King Shielded again. I decided to go for a substitute, predicting him to King Shield, as he just decides to go for Sacred Sword, not letting me get a sub up. Good play. But I can just go for a Crunch as he doesn't King Shield again, and I get rid of that thing. So last up, he has the Nihilego. If he Scarf Thunderbolt, he could potentially KO this, but either he did not have it, or didn't kill, and you will see he goes for a power gem and does not kill me, or he might not have been Scarf. If he wasn't Scarf, Swallow just won anyway. So I ended up pulling out a 2-0 win against Sonnen, a very well played game. The DC did suck, but you know, some really cool sets on both sides, some nice tech, and all in all, a really fun game. Getting myself to a nice 4-1 plus 8, so that's honestly the best differential I think I've had in such a long time, maybe ever, and definitely ever in a Wi-Fi league. I don't know about Showdown leagues. I've had some pretty good runs in Showdown leagues, but this is definitely the best differential I've had in a Wi-Fi league and probably ever. So really cool. And again, be sure to go check out Tone. He's a really good content creator, makes really good videos, and you should definitely go check him out. He's a great battler. His link, as well as all the other coaches, are always in the description. So yeah, definitely be sure to go check out Tone's POV of this game and see his thought process and whatnot behind the team and everything. Yeah. Other than that, though, we play Root, the coach of the New Jersey Brobats, next week for, depending on how his Week 5 game goes, the outright lead in our division. So we got another divisional game next week, and it's a really big one. We are 4-1 right now, like I said, and I believe that is first in our division. I will check right now for you guys, though. Root is 3-2 going into that game, so if we can get another one, that will really put us 2 games ahead of everyone in our division. So very big game coming up next week, and yeah, hopefully we can pull out another W and keep this streak going. We've been playing very well so far this season. I'm really happy with how the team's performing. So, and also happy with my front office. Shout out to my front office, mainly just Dorian, but I want to give also shout outs to Sped and Shay and Pat and whoever else helps me build teams occasionally. So shout out to all you dudes. This team's going really well, and I'm having a really fun season so far. And shout out to you guys. My channel's actually been popping off lately from the UBL and the BBL starting up. So thank you to all the new viewers for coming and checking out my channel. Really appreciate that as well. And I've literally been rambling for about 3 minutes at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.